MegaPodTastic.
Good morning, MegaPodlings. It's Crazy Joe. And it's been a long time since I've done a video like this, one of these ranking videos. I don't do them very often, but I know you guys like them, and I think it's been a couple years since I last did one. But here we go. We are on the precipice. We are on the precipice of another Jurassic Park movie. The 6th film in the Jurassic Park franchise is opening in just a few short weeks. Jurassic World Dominion is the title. I am very, very excited about it, and I'm really hoping Samuel L. Jackson shows up with a cyborg robot arm. That's something I've been calling for years because we never did see Samuel L. Jackson's character die. We only saw a severed arm, and the assumption was he was dead. But really, he could be alive and maybe just lost his arm. Imagine Sam Jackson coming back with a robo-arm, like, I'm going to get the velociraptor that took my arm. And then he's using his robo-arm to punch dinosaurs. And who doesn't want to see that? If you don't want to see that, I don't think you and I are on the same wavelength, because I can't imagine who wouldn't want to see that. And a couple years ago, I tweeted it to Colin Trevorrow, director of Jurassic Park 6. And this was his response. So he acknowledged my tweet. He acknowledged it. He said, noted, scribbles notes. So if Sam Jackson shows up in this movie with a robot arm, you're welcome. Anyway, let's take the first 5 films in the franchise. We're going to rank them from worst to best. We're going to go worst to best. So we'll start with number 5. Number 5, and normally I like to hold up the Blu-ray for each one. Unfortunately, they're all in one, so I'd kind of have to like flip through. I'm not going to bother doing it. I'll just give you a name. I do have all 5 on 4, and then 4K and Blu-ray. They came both ways. All right, number 5, worst film in the franchise. 1997's The Lost World: Jurassic Park. The second film directed by Steven Spielberg, and one of the few times in his entire career that Steven Spielberg had a misfire. The Lost World Jurassic Park is fairly weak. I don't have the runtime in front of me. I apologize. I don't have the runtime. But the movie's just too long. It takes itself too seriously. The first film obviously had something to say about man, nature, God, playing God. There were messages there. And the second film, I think Spielberg felt, and he was influenced a little bit by Michael Crichton's book, The Lost World, but not too much, because if you've read the book and seen the movie, Spielberg did really go off in a different direction. The Lost World is not a faithful adaptation of the Lost World book. So Spielberg did chart his own path. But I think he once again felt a need that we got to have something to say. We got to have a message. And this time it was a message about ecology, with these poachers coming to the island trying to take the dinosaurs, and it just didn't work. It didn't work the second time around. It became overly long, too preachy. I don't have the runtimes in front of me, but I believe it's a longer film than the first film, and you could really feel it. The only time the movie plays with the format at all is in the last, 20 minutes when a dinosaur makes it to the mainland in San Diego. But they kind of undo that really quickly. They catch him, they get him back, they take him back to the island. So they don't really break the mold too much. It's like we get this little 20 minutes where it's like, we're going to try something different. But no, we're going to retreat. We're going to take it back to the island. We're going to do everything we've done previously again. So other than that last 20 minutes, the movie's kind of a slog. It really doesn't work. And there you go. Last film. I don't think it sucks. I don't think it's a garbage movie, but it's easily the worst film in this franchise. All right, number 4. And I got to tell you, man, I really like number 4. The gap in quality between number 4 and 5 is miles wide, because number 4 is so much better than number 5. But it's just that there's 3 movies that are better than number 4. This isn't a bad movie. It's just that there's 3 movies that are better than it. Number 4 on the list is Jurassic World, the 4th film in the franchise. Jurassic World, 4th film by Colin Trevorrow. Colin Trevorrow did a great job bringing this franchise back after a long absence. Obviously, we got Chris Pratt in there. We've got Bryce Dallas Howard. And the movie's a delight. It's a lot of fun. I think I saw it like 3 times in the theater in the summer of 2015. Terrific movie, or Jurassic World. Jurassic World, Lost World. Too many worlds. Too many worlds. So I'm probably gonna slip up again and say the Lost World when I mean Jurassic World. Jurassic World's great. It's a great movie. There's 3 movies better than it. And here's the thing, as much as I like it, and I do like it, it is a little too similar to the first film in spirit of, oh, well, here we are again. It's an amusement park, and only this time the park's open. Last time the park wasn't open yet. This time the park is open. People are coming to the park. So they played with the format a little, but it really does kind of feel maybe a little bit too similar to where they already tread on in the first one. The film gets a lot of unfair criticism. Like there's a scene where Bryce Dallas Howard runs from a T-Rex in high heels, and people are like, she's running from a T-Rex in high heels, that's stupid. But if you look at who her character is a character who would have worn high heels to work. She was a high-up executive. That would have been something she would have worn to work. She did not know that morning dinosaurs were going to get loose, so therefore she wouldn't have been like, I better pack a sneakers today just in case a T-Rex gets loose and I'm running from it. So it actually made a lot of sense that her character would be running in high heels because that's who her character is, and she probably wouldn't have had to change the shoes. Now, had she not thought to bring sneakers for the next film, I would have been like, well, she just didn't learn. This character doesn't learn her lessons. But we can forgive the high heels and shoes because, you know, if that's what you're wearing, if you go to the office in high heels and a monster gets loose and starts chasing you, you're going to run from it in high heels. So that was a stupid criticism on this movie. Number 4, Lost World, good movie. There's 3 better. Okay. Coming in at number 3, the 3rd best film in the Jurassic Park franchise. It is 2001's Jurassic Park 3, the return of Sam Neill to the role of Dr. Alan Grant. The 2001 film, which also stars Téa Leoni and William H. Macy, terrific movie. Absolutely terrific movie. It learned all the mistakes of The Lost World and corrected them. It's directed by Joe Johnston, director of The Rocketeer, Captain America, The First Avenger. Joe Johnston, great filmmaker. And he looked at The Lost World and said, yeah, I'm not going to make those mistakes. Whereas The Lost World was too long, the Jurassic Park 3 has a brisk runtime of 88 minutes. It never has time to wear out its welcome. It's 88 minutes, and it's start to go fun. Just fun. It's not overly long. It's not overly preachy like the second film was. This time it's a simple creature feature. This is a 1950s B movie on a grand scale. We've got men running from dinosaurs. This movie could have been made in the 50s or 60s. The budget would have been much, much lower, but this is your typical drive-in film of a man running from creatures. But done on a grand, big budget scale. And it is so much fun. It is the polar opposite of The Lost World, whereas The Lost World is too serious. This film is pure adrenaline fun, whereas The Lost World is too long. This film is a short, brisk runtime, so you don't have time to get tired of it. This was my favorite sequel in the franchise until my number 2 pick came out. Number 2, the most recent film in the Jurassic Park franchise, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, the second film to star Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt. Fallen Kingdom is fantastic. It is the first Jurassic Park movie that really, really plays with the format and changes the format up. It's no longer an island filled with dinosaurs. We've changed the setting. We've changed the locale. Everything changes in Fallen Kingdom. and it's great. The movie's closest cousin is probably Cabin in the Woods. If you've seen Cabin in the Woods, you know there's a great scene in Cabin in the Woods. Cabin in the Woods is like a decade old. If you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it, but I mean, it's like a decade old. There's a scene in Cabin in the Woods where a bunch of monsters get loose in a facility. They're caged up in a facility. It's almost like the Initiative from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But the monsters get loose and all hell breaks loose. And they're running and monsters are everywhere. That is Fallen Kingdom. Fallen Kingdom is the Initiative from Buffy. It is Cabin in the Woods. It's a haunted house film, but instead of ghosts, it's dinosaurs. We finally get the dinosaurs off the island, which was teased in The Lost World, but really not paid off. And now they're finally off the island. We finally get to try something different. And this time it's the dinosaurs in a contained space. And they're loose, and it is wonderful. I love this movie so much. Fallen Kingdom, in terms of the Jurassic Park sequels, this is as good as it gets. It really blows up the format, tries something completely different, and it works, and it sets up where we're going in Dominion, and I can't wait to see Dominion because this movie is terrific setup for Dominion. All right, number 2, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, best of the Jurassic Park sequels by a mile. And number 1 has to be the original Spielberg classic, Jurassic Park. The movie was groundbreaking in its special effects, groundbreaking in every way. The use of CGI, the use of CGI and animatronics together, the casting, so many quotable lines. Dodson, we got Dodson here. It's just wonderful movie. You're not going to top the original Jurassic Park. That is number 1 by a mile. No competition. No competition. One of Spielberg's best. So that's a no-brainer. So there you go. Top to bottom, or bottom to top, actually. We started at the... So number 5, Lost World, by far the worst. Number 4, Jurassic World. Number 3, Jurassic Park 3. Number 2, Fallen Kingdom. And the best Jurassic Park movie is, of course, Jurassic Park. All right, everybody, keep wearing those pajamas.
Keep wearing those pajamas with the plastic feet. Keep wearing those pajamas. Tell everyone you meet. Keep wearing those pajamas with the back door flap. Keep wearing those pajamas. Don't open, it's a trap. Oh no, it's a trap. Some people call them PJs, some people call them jammies. They can come embroidered with big money and no whammies. They can have 100 tiny commander pajamas, but no matter how they look, just keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep wearing those pajamas. And now we're having fun. Keep wearing those pajamas. And now the song is done.